Anyway, let's get started.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Two Asian Blokes Podcast, a podcast where we talk about Asian pop culture, films, TV shows, comic books, anime, music, food, video games, whatever we're feeling at the time. Really, my name is Dan with H, and with me, as always, is my co-host Tavi. Hello, Tavi. Hi.
Hello. This is the first time we've met today.
Yes. Yes.
We're not just recording a bunch of stuff in a row because we're always doing fresh things.
Yeah. We're not staggering our news so that some things seem more recent than others.
Yeah. What have you been watching lately?
Oh, this is our reoccurring segment. What have you been watching?
I just thought of that. Yeah, that's what have you been doing lately? What have you been watching? I'm sure there's some film that has a similar that we can maybe come up with a jingle or something.
Yeah, we'll get risky on it.
We'll get risky on it. Yeah. What have you been watching?
I have been watching.
What have you been watching? I'm just going to check your letterbox.
I think you'll find that it's not up to date. I've been watching the TV show on Netflix called You. Y-O-U.
Oh, You. Yeah.
Yes.
Another serial killer thing.
Yeah. You haven't watched this show, right?
Nah.
What do you know about this show?
It's just some guy. It's like each season he likes a girl or follows a girl.
Pretty much.
And then he ends up killing her.
Yeah. So based on a popular book series, I'm told, it stars Penn Badgley, which... Penn Badgley. I read this tweet where it's like, Penn Badgley sounds like the fake name that you would give a cop that's interrogating you, like how you're just looking him. My name's Penn Badgley. But no, it stars him as
his real name,
as Joe, who is this guy who has had a troubled past, and basically he is stalking a different girl each season. But because the story is kind of told through his lens, he is the hero of the story. Even though he's a pretty bad bloke overall. Very enjoyable show, I think. Just like there's a lot of kind of like internal monologue. It's kind of like American Psycho-esque, but not as like crazy, not as bonkers. Yeah.
Maybe not as deep.
Not as deep, yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah. It's more like popcorny than that. But very good watch. I think like there are a lot of comedic elements in this show that kind of stem from Joe being just kind of like a psychopath, but also very relatable at the same time.
Yeah. Do you think that's why people are kind of like just really drawn to this guy, just with those attributes? Makes him fun to watch.
Like he's crazy, but in an adorable kind of way. It's up to the fourth season now. It does break up the formula a little bit. Like the fourth season is quite kind of has a murder mystery vibe to it, which I enjoy personally. But I've heard a lot of criticisms come from the fact that it is breaking the formula of Joe finds a girl to stalk, and then that's his arc for the season. There's a lot of like social commentary, I think, in the show as well. It's mostly like rich people suck and rich people are vapid, and Joe is kind of like the everyman, but at the same time, he's just a psycho. So he's a murderer and a weird stalker. But the people around him are also quite terrible.
Yeah.
And maybe he's the lesser of the evils. Not that I'm condoning violence on anyone's part, but
It does sound like something that I would like to watch. It sounds funny.
I mean, you're not a TV guy in general.
Yeah.
And there are four seasons of it.
4 seasons is a long time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of,
It's a lot of time to commit.
So...
It's a fun watch,
I'm probably not going to watch it, but it sounds like a fun watch. Yeah.
What have you been watching?
Watched Wakanda Forever, finally. It's all right. It's a Marvel film.
Yeah?
It exists. And it was probably one of the better Marvel films of last year, actually, to be honest.
One of the last films in Phase 4, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe even the last film of Phase 4. The last thing of Phase 4, right?
I think so, yeah. It was okay. Like, it's just,
Did it feel like an end point?
Not really.
Okay.
Just like, because I haven't been really paying attention to the Marvel stuff, as you know. But I thought I'd just mention that because,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I was kind of I haven't watched it yet, but like there were a couple of elements that I was like vaguely interested in, like the introduction of Namor, the Submariner, or Namor, as you keep telling me it's pronounced in the movie. Sure,
it's Namor, and he's got a big schlong which they had to CGI down apparently.
Excuse me?
Yeah, because apparently, like, I'm not sure if this is true or not. I'm not going to source them, but there were some articles, but they were like, yeah, they had to digitally downgrade his package because it was too big, and he's always in like Speedos, so it's like,
okay,
yeah,
well, that's
which is like
good for him, I guess.
Good for him, yeah. But a much more interesting movie that I watched was Infinity Pool.
Yeah.
That had been from Brandon Cronenberg, David Cronenberg's son.
Okay. Is he also starring in that film or just?
Nah. It's got Alexander Skarsgård, the Northman guy.
One of the Skarsgårds.
Yeah, one of the Skarsgårds, and it's got Mia Goth as well.
Yeah.
So if it's got Mia Goth, you're gonna expect some crazy shenanigans.
All the marketing violence for this film is just Mia Goth losing her shit.
Yeah, she definitely does lose her shit. But this was a pretty fun premise. It's a weird movie. I won't talk too much about it now because I think you should go see it. I think the less you know, the better. But I think overall, it's one of those like very whack fever dream-esque movies.
Okay.
It's got like that either you love it or hate it kind of vibe to it.
Is there anything that I've seen that you would equate it to?
It's very similar to Midsommar, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got that very anxiety-inducing cinematography.
Right.
And there's elements of like, Clockwork Orange in there. It's similar to that movie Enemy by what's that director? Denis Villeneuve. Yeah.
Okay,
there's
so kind of like an uneasy feeling that like something's not quite right.
Yeah. Like this movie was initially touted for being like quite a shock value movie, and maybe for the regular person it's quite an intense watch. For me it wasn't as weird as I thought it was going to be, but I guess I'm just a fucked up guy. But it's still I found this to be a very enjoyable movie. There's definitely depravity in this movie. For sure. Yeah, this is like semen shot.
Okay.
A lot of blood and consuming of blood and sex. So it's quite a fun times family movie. Recommend it. Bring your kids.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Yeah. Go watch it.
How does Brandon Cronenberg, that's his name, right? Brandon Cronenberg's directing style compared to David Cronenberg?
They're very, very similar because there's a lot of science fiction, body horror.
Okay.
It is like, it's actually quite similar to Crimes of the Future if you watched that last year. But I guess it's kind of more that modern. If I was to compare him to other directors now, it's like Ari Aster, Panos Cosmatos vibe. Yeah, just very eerie. It's good.
Okay.
I'd recommend it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we've been watching. But also, we've been watching a Korean film.
Yeah, this is another random movie that I stumbled upon.
Yeah.
It's called Unlocked, and it's basically about an office worker who drops her smartphone accidentally, and some guy takes it and hacks it, gives it back to her under the guise of a phone repairman, and he basically fucks up her life. And he is also a serial killer as well.
Yes.
Yes. So it's just a lot of fucking serial killing that we've been doing now. We just fucking messed up people. Yeah, I guess we are. But yeah, so it's definitely like a strong kind of like plot driven thriller. There's definitely a plot point I want to talk about in this movie. Back in the spoilers, but I was drawn to this movie because I know the lead actress Chun Woo-hee. She's been in some pretty prolific films. She's like the lady that's in The Wailing. She plays a villain in this, I guess, pretty old Korean movie now called Sunny. But yeah, I think her most prominent role is playing a high school student in Hangongju, and she's kind of recovering from the trauma of, I guess, sexual abuse, but it's kind of like things are getting covered up kind of story. But I think that was her breakout role, and probably her best role. Like those roles are obviously very intense. I've seen her in some pretty shit rom-com, which I don't remember the title of. So it's and she's worked with Han Hyo-jo a few times. She's one of the iterations of was it Woojin in The Love, The Beauty Inside?
Okay.
Yeah, during the confession scene. Yeah. So no, she's a good actress. So yeah, I watched it, and this is also a pretty fun movie. It's one of those Korean staples of being like very frustrated when you watch this movie. And a very unlikable villain.
So this guy, the guy that finds her phone and hacks into it, the serial killer, is played by si-wan. We've seen him before, right?
Have we? He's part of a boy band, Zia.
You might remember him as the unlikable villain from.
Oh, is he in Emergency Declaration? Wow, it's the same guy. I didn't even realize that. I just
took me a while
looked
to figure it out, but yeah. He's that guy.
Oh wow, he's continuing playing the same role.
He's the same
I guess.
guy. He's the same character. Like this kind of character. Like incel that just wants to watch the world burn.
Maybe he escaped from the plane, and this is what he's doing now. Yeah, and he's kind of like he's like a gun hacker. He can just like hack everything through the touch of a button. That's his skill.
Well, I mean, he in this film, he just uploads like a spyware program to her phone, right? And that's like how he gets in. So presumably the spyware does all the heavy lifting. Right?
Yeah, but he can kind of do some unbelievable stuff that happens in this film as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Like turning lights off and stuff. It gets very like
Poltergeist.
Watch Dogs. You played that game in Poltergeist. Yeah.
He's a clever dude. Like he has like these kind of tricks. You can tell he's been doing it for a while, and the movie quickly establishes that he's been doing this shtick for a while of like obtaining somebody's phone and using it to ruin their life and then ultimately murder them. So his Chun Woo-hee is playing the character Nami, who is his 9th victim. What do you think of Nami as a character?
Nami as a character is a little bit inconsistent going into the second half of the film, but overall, like, she is a sympathetic character.
She's meant to be like an everyday person.
You don't want to see this guy like fuck up her life.
Particularly to young people, I feel like she's like just like she works at a marketing company. And like she's got a side hustle, I guess, where she's got like a secret Instagram account or something.
But what's she trying to sell? She's trying to sell the coffee, right?
So she works at her dad's cafe as well as like kind of like a part-time thing. But like she's a marketer for some kind of startup company, like selling some kind of product. I'm not 100% sure what the product is. Yeah,
I don't know either. It's like some beauty jelly, but then I thought it was a coffee at the end of the movie. I guess it's not important.
It's not that important.
It's just like,
But she's also got like a secret like social media account where she does something that is like slightly shady, but not like it's pretty innocent as well. Like that it's like maybe it was lost in translation, I think. But she's kind of got this online persona, so she got some followers on that.
That's right. I think they're trying to pretend to be like some kind of influencer that doesn't show their face, but they're actually like spooking a product. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's a pretty normal thing to do, actually.
Yeah.
There's much more reprehensible things like poisoning sushi or
100%.
licking toilet seats.
Like Nami is like kind of an innocent, in this whole situation.
I mean, she's a likable character enough that she's quite bubbly and pretty girl
and relatable.
So that's like quite the surface level likability, but it's enough to get you to not want to see her suffer
Yeah.
in, kind of thing.
Even the way she loses her phone in the first place is pretty relatable. It's like she just gets drunk and then drops it on the bus.
Drunk. No, it's definitely, the message of this film is like,
pretty heavy-handed.
It's a bit heavy-handed.
You know what it is from the start of the film. Like,
it's like you bastards on your phones all the time. You and your Instagrams. It's like, I feel like, all right, director, give me your phone.
Yeah, just calm down, you fucking boomer. This movie is like a big I told you so for all the dads out there, that are like, always make a password that's different from all your other passwords, but nobody's fucking doing that, man. It's so hard to remember 50 passwords. Just make the same password for everything. It makes your life a lot easier. Sure, you might get hacked.
It's true, yeah.
But I got nothing.
You might get hacked and get killed. Well, this is a debut, so I don't know anything about this director.
Apparently, he is in the follow-up to Train to Busan.
Oh, really?
So he's an actor, but this is his directorial debut.
Oh, okay. Well, I would say, it's impressive. It's a good debut because I was definitely hooked through the movie. I wasn't bored, and I think like the thriller vibes were quite compelling, I suppose.
Yeah, like you said, there's a lot of like frustration, tension in there. Of like, oh, they're so close to catching him, but just
it's like, oh, you motherfucker, Again, plot point I want to talk about later. But there's
the opening scene alone, like when I watched the opening scene, it's like shot from like the perspective of the phone. Remember that? It's very similar to Searching. There's a lot of elements from that movie, just the way the following. So you're like seeing like the screen of the phone as she's typing messages, as she's looking up the location of where she needs to go, and it's like very quick. So like you're kind of being told this narrative of her day via her phone screen. And that kind of sets the message of the film of like, our phones pretty much dictate our lives. Like, if you
Do you use your phone that much?
Nah, I don't.
I don't. But we're older though. Like, we're not on social media. I find that I don't actually look at my phone that much.
Yeah.
Not when I'm with people. Because it's like...
I mean, I use it more and more. Like, I didn't used to use it for paying for stuff. But nowadays, I am finding that I do use it... like here and there.
Oh, you're gonna fucking drop your phone. Some Eshe is gonna pick it up, and there's gonna be like the hacker Eshe. And then it's like, what? 20 pairs of Adidas? What the fuck?
Pretty much. No, I mean, I think for the story they're trying to tell, it's like, it is a good threat to put on to pose on the audience, like I think audience members of all ages will watch this and be like, oh yeah, I don't want this to happen to me.
But then as you said, you gotta watch it with your parents. Like, oh, I told you so. I told you if you put too much on your phone, you're gonna get it hacked by the guy from Emergency Declaration. I told you.
I wouldn't let my dad watch this. Like, my dad is paranoid enough as it is. I wouldn't let him watch this.
Don't watch Taken with you either.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This is like Taken, but for Gen Z.
I told you.
I told you.
I told you if you went to go see U2 in another country, you'd get kidnapped. I told you.
I told you so.
We forgot to mention that this movie has another prolific actor from our repertoire of Korean actors with very standout aesthetic attributes.
For people that may not be familiar with this show, we often nickname actors for distinguishing features and things that we just happen to remember them by, and often this is not something that people of a general audience will pick up on, or even
no one will pick it up. It's just us.
It's just us. So basically these are just in jokes, but it does have the guy from Man from Nowhere. We call him the puckered lip guy. Because his lips are they're not small.
They're quite puckered. So it's just like, we're not even gonna say his actor's real name.
Yeah,
he's
the
just
puckered lips guy. He plays a detective in this movie. The character's name is Jiman, who is a detective who is chasing the culprit of this this series of murders. So basically, like, the cops find a body in like some kind of plum orchard, I think, and it's kind of implied that the culprit may be Jiman's son, so the detective's son, who is estranged and has been missing for a long time.
Yes, so he kind of investigates it on his own with his partner.
He's kind of like being a bit of a vigilante. He doesn't really want to get the other police involved because it is his son.
I found this dynamic a bit interesting. I thought it was an interesting,
I found it odd. And maybe
I'm not
a little
sure if it added
contrived,
much.
to be, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, it's an interesting premise, but maybe a little bit contrived. Yeah, they didn't really do much with it. It's just kind of there to explain why the cops aren't really doing anything.
Are not involved, right?
Yeah,
because it would have been too easy to solve if the whole police force was on it, or like even his.
Yeah, but because the reveal of the killer, you see him instantly in the beginning. Like there's no hidden face or anything, and they reveal this plot point really early on as well. So I was like, okay, like I wonder where they're going to take this. And it doesn't really amount to too much until that plot point.
Yeah.
But maybe it was to set up that one. I mean, before we get into spoilers, it's like, basically the dude kind of kidnaps Nami's dad because he suspects him because he like kind of comes into the coffee shop a couple of times and he lets his guard down by trying to order this special drink that only regulars order, but like the dad catches on.
Yeah,
like,
I mean the dad is just like
prick.
A dad is just like typically correct about the situation.
So, I told you.
Yeah, he pins this guy as a weirdo stalker from the get-go and is like, you shouldn't hang out with him, you shouldn't trust this guy, and basically Nami's like, fuck you, Dad, you know what you're talking about, Dad.
I'm just looking at the literal meaning of the Hangul for the title of this movie, and it's just called I Just Dropped My Smartphone. So I might have got it funny. This is the literal. I was like, it's like, just dropped my smartphone, man. It's just like, now I'm going to get killed by this dude.
Yeah.
This dude who's supposed to be dead from emergency declaration. I wonder what, like, picking these roles, these constantly being an extremely unlikable guy. Because he's very, like, I think, because he's like that kind of scrawny, pretty boy look that you just like when he kind of has a few evil gasms in this movie, you kind of like really want to punch this guy in the face.
Yeah, he's got that kind of face.
You really want to like.
I could imagine him being like the guy in a like a LAN cafe that just gets like really agitated while he's playing his game. You know what I mean? Like he's got that kind of like. He's handsome, right? But, like, he's also kind of got otaku vibes, I guess.
Yeah. I think the fact that, because he's very pretty, makes it more frustrating. Because I'm thinking if you had, like, let's say Paul Dano play this role...
Yeah, it would make sense.
I'd find him more compelling and less frustrated. Because, like, Paul Dano does these roles really well in a kind of like funny way for us, but like this guy, he's having a lot of fun with this role. It's just like you just really want to fucking grab your hands and fucking smush his fucking eyeballs.
I think he's really good at this role, actually. Like it's the same as Emergency Declaration. Like I wish he was in that film more because like he's like we've talked about the gangster, the cop, and the devil, and it's like. This guy this character that just wants to watch the world burn. But like when it's done in this way, like this particular character, I kind of understand more than the psychopath in that movie. Because this character is like almost a caricature of like incels, I guess. It's kind of like
incels,
this like this kind of beta male that's like just angry, you know, and just wants to punish people, but like in this kind of like not really a direct way. It's like even the way he goes about like hacking into this girl's phone and like stalking her through these means is like very kind of like not direct, you know, it's not directly aggressive, but it is like very hateful, you know?
Yeah, so it makes it much more effective when he eventually like makes Nami's colleague and her friends turn on on her because he basically gets all the information from Nami's phone and he writes what he's gonna do and who's important to her, and then because eventually he hacks and he leaks all this shit and a conversation between her boss, and then she gets fired, and he's just like, it's clearly not her, and he's like, that's kind of like the first stepping stone, and then it's like when he makes her suspicious of her best friend all of a sudden, and then it's like there's that scene where she's like, she's telling her best friend like, just tell me you didn't do it, and then there's like this kind of weird battle between her and her best friend where her best friend doesn't want to she does not say she doesn't want to. She didn't do it, but she's kind of saying like, "I did do it, you fucking bitch." And it's just
that was the plot. That was the plot point that I thought you were alluding to when you were like, "I want to talk about a plot point that I'm not on board with." And I was like, this kind of like doesn't.
It's definitely forced.
But it doesn't really amount to that much anyway. It just kind of puts the main character, the best friend, out of the situation.
So she has nowhere to go. And she eventually calls the cops, and that's the thing, because Nami is kind of like this, innocent girl who's had her life been interrupted. But I guess for most of the first half of the movie, she's maybe a little bit too passive, because she doesn't really have much happen to her until maybe like 30 or 40 minutes into the movie. Until her colleagues.
She doesn't even realize that she's been hacked until the thing with her colleagues happens.
And it's like it's quite obvious that she's been hacked, and it's like, I don't know, she's like kind of makes some not dumb decisions, but kind of like it's clear that she's blaming the wrong people. I don't know, because maybe when you're in that heat of the moment, you might just lash out at people, but just from watching, it feels like, I don't know, the character just seems kind of dumb, I guess.
Do you mean when she blamed her best friend?
Yeah. Okay. It's just like, I don't know. But then she kind of plays someone who's kind of like coy and is not really active. And then she suddenly like becomes like Sherlock Holmes all of a sudden.
She's like bossing around the cops.
Yeah. She's bossing. And then so that's when you ask, like, what did I think of this character? It's a little bit inconsistent. Yeah. Because then suddenly she just like knows everything. She's just like, oh, fuck. This guy's just fucked me over. Like she just sees her phone smashed on the ground, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't think that's enough of a trigger. Maybe there needs to be something that was a bit more believable than that. And she goes to the cops. She's like, you motherfuckers, you're gonna like listen to me now. And it's like, And then the cops are like, the cops here at this point. Like, I know Korean cinema is like always against incompetence of the cops, but like it's a bit much. It's like, dude, fucking like,
I feel like
people are gonna die, man.
She was so unlucky to like stumble across these two cops that are just the worst cops in Korea.
They're not very good. Fucking Lips guy, you're not a very good cop. Like, I know it's your son. Like, it's not enough that it's his son. I think because it's I
get like that guy. Sure, it's his son. Yeah, maybe he's going to be shady about it. But what is his partner's excuse?
Exactly. His partner's just like, all right, let's just keep everything under the shades. I'll try to like, I understand that there's like, when you're a friend to someone, like a good friend, you will kind of do these things to help your friends out, even though it's not the most morally right thing to do. Like, for example, I went to watch The Whale with Brendan Fraser, and he basically has this really good friend who's a nurse that looks after him, but she also like gives him food when he asks for it, just because they're really close friends. But like in that sense, that character, like, you understand that motive because you're friends, so you don't know which line to cross or to hold back, because like, you want to keep the peace, but this guy's just his partner. Doesn't seem like he gives a shit about Puckered.
I mean, we don't get their entire backstory, but like, the interactions do not show like how close they are. Really, it's just like the partner will kind of put forth an objection, a fairly reasonable objection of like maybe we should tell this girl that's under the threat of death that actually this is a serial killer. And the apocalypse guy would be like, nah, shut up. And then be like,
okay. I mean, but they eventually like formulate this plan to catch Jung Young, the killer, which involves just her like using one of her old phones to call in to her apartment or whatever. Okay, so now we're going to spoiler territory.
Yep.
So there's this throwaway line about her remarking on the appearance of the dude, like saying, yeah, if you just had a haircut and took off the glasses, he'd look like a different person. And then it's like, this is exactly what he does.
Yeah,
so he gets a haircut, takes off his glasses, and then like he gets held up by the two cops.
Yeah, so the two cops are staking out Nami's place,
Nami.
right? And waiting for the killer to show up, right?
And then they go up to him, and then there's this really like elongated, like tense moment.
We're like, as the audience, we're like, oh no, he's been caught. What is he gonna do now?
He's been caught. He's gonna. No, it's more like, like they're gonna catch that. It's more like they're gonna catch this motherfucker. They're so close. And then he's like, because the dad says like, Juyong, like the son's name, and then he stops. And like maybe in film time it happens for like a minute or so. So it seems like a long time, but I guess like maybe in their reality it was just like a split second. But like he turns around and he's like, huh? Who are you talking about? So he's like, basically, he just like cut his hair a little bit and took off he did a Superman. And then the cops are like, oh, sorry, we got the wrong guy. And then I was watching, I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know what this guy looks like at this point.
No, they don't know what he looks like. These cops don't know what this guy looks like. They're expecting to see the cop's son. Yeah, which is why they didn't arrest him on the spot.
Yeah, but like I thought about that, and then okay, so that makes sense. But then the guy's like, "Show me your ID," and then the guy's like, "Nah." I'm like, "Come on, like really? Like you're a police officer. Like you can't just let a civilian talk back to you like that." And I was like, "Is this a really dumb plot point?" But then I think back to 20th Century Girl, where I like got the dudes mixed up as well. So I'm like, oh, maybe it is a thing where you just like mistook a guy. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I kind of fell off board the movie at this point because it's just like, it was so, I don't know, I felt like this moment was so contrived. Just like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, you're expecting a suspicious guy, you know, to go into this house. And then it's just like, oh yeah, no, just let him go. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a bit silly. It was like, but I think they were caught off guard because it wasn't who they were expecting to see.
Because there is something that kind of explains it that happens. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, like at that point, the penny drops that like the killer is not the cop's son, right? Because otherwise the cop would recognize him instantly.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, like...
Was that not the intention of the film? Like that's what I got from that scene anyway. It's like... Because up to that point, you're led to believe that this person that we're seeing as the killer is the cop's son, because there's that scene where like the cop busts into his like room, and he's like trolling. He's like "Appa" and like trolling his dad, kind of thing. So you're like, okay, yeah, maybe it is this guy's son. Yeah. But then like that scene kind of hammers home that it's not the guy's son. It's like a different guy. And something has happened to the guy's son. Yeah, because that plot point does reveal. So I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't get that initially at the start. So because I thought earlier in the film, you thought the guy cut his hair, and then that caused his father not to recognize him as his son.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, that was my initial. I was like, because I was thinking about it. I was like, oh yeah, he didn't really get to see his son. And like, hang on, at that point, like, hang on, this is clearly your son. You should know what your son looks like. But it is explained. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just, the way it was done is kind of like, I just found it very unbelievable. But like, in that sense, yeah, it makes sense. But you would still like, if someone is refusing to show you ID, like you can't do that.
That part is pretty implausible. Like,
because like, you get caught out for way less in fucking in Japan.
But I guess
like,
these cops specifically are being dodgy, so maybe that's why they took.
So did they know that he was a weirdo? Like, because basically, the cops kind of leave the dude alone, and then he eventually breaks into. Actually, no, he like disappears first, doesn't he?
Yeah. He disappears and just waits for her at her dad's house, basically.
Yeah. But he eventually catches her, and he like kind of ties her up and does his evil-gasm, and then he like reveals that he's got his dad. That was a pretty good scene actually, because she's like. He's saying like, yeah, you should kill me because like I know you got like a knife. Well, he doesn't know that, but like he knows she has an opportunity to kill him, but she doesn't do it. And then it's quite tense, and he's like, I need to go to the bathroom, and it's just like you know there's gonna be some fucked up shit in there. Yeah. It's not that fucked up. It's just her dad tied to
it's just a
bathtub.
Just a dad,
and he's still alive.
Yeah.
But it's like, you had your chance. And at this point, like, you don't know whether the cops are coming, except for that, like, single shot of where she throws a piece of paper under the couch. So, you know, she has some form of ace up her sleeve. You know, it's not going to be, like, a down-ending film. But, yeah, she has kind of, like, her Odessu moment, which I quite enjoyed. bit over the top. But, like, it was funny. But she says that she's going to kill the guy. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. She does have that switch. And then she's like, "Oh, sorry. I apologize."
Yeah. I feel like the director is.
Yeah, that was very old boy, wasn't it? I didn't realize.
Just too old boy. Yeah. So I actually really enjoyed that. Whether the acting was good or not from her part, because I know she can act pretty well, but it kind of seemed like she was having a little bit of fun. Just for sure.
Now that you've said that, I can't unsee it. It's just her doing Odessu, basically.
Female Odessu.
But yeah, the resolution of like I did find the reveal of like her secret code to the cops was pretty good. Like he unfolds that piece of paper and it's like, oh yeah, actually no text, only calls, and then that's when the cops bust in and get him.
I feel like they were pretty like far away though. She's already been like tied and like gagged in the bathroom.
I mean, he was taking his time, right? Like,
yeah. I feel like wouldn't they have been like a little bit closer or something? Oh, I don't know, because the cops had like left at that point.
Yeah, they were going back to their station, which is not even in Seoul apparently.
So they're far away. I guess it takes them a bit of a while, but like, I mean, you know, like they know the reputation of the killer. Like, you'd have someone like stay nearby, right? I don't know.
Nah, because they were acting rogue. I think that's like the thing. Like they separated them from the entire unit, so that it was just those two. So their resources were limited. I think that's...
Yeah, but I mean, like, earlier, just tell someone, man. Like, this is your job.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, just tell someone, but, like, no. Puckered lip guy has to go rogue, and his partner has to follow him for some reason. Otherwise, it would have been solved too easily, I think. And, like, the whole thing is, like, this guy is supposed to be really clever. He's, like, one of his most unlikable traits is that he thinks he's smarter than everybody. And like for the most part of the movie, he does prove that he is smarter than everybody because nobody can seem to catch him. But like I do feel like if he had come across any other cops that weren't thinking that he was their estranged son, he would have been caught pretty quickly. Like if they had more resources, he would have been caught pretty quickly.
But I mean, the cops they do save her, and then there's kind of like the fake out that like the guy has rescued Nami and you think like the dad is like dead, is doing like CPR, and then this is the reveal where it's like, oh, it's not like his son kind of thing. It's like just a guy who has taken the guy's personality. So I was like, oh, okay, that kind of makes some excuse for that scene, because like at that point I'm like, did you just like cut your hair and say you're this guy? Because like all Korean guys are the same. So I did forgive that plot point a bit more, but I still am like, fucking check that motherfucker's ID, you know? Like, you know. Then there's a bit where like puckered lips guy is like beating up the shit out of this guy, and then he's contemplating killing him or not. So it's kind of like near the end of 7.
Yeah.
But like, he has the upper hand. There's none of that. It's just like, you should just kill that motherfucker. Like, you shouldn't, because you're a cop. I mean, you've done all this other shit
I know,
outside of the law.
You're gonna get fired anyway. Just fucking kill this guy.
Yeah. But then it's like Chan Woo-hee wakes up, and then she like goes to stab him, but he gets shot instead. No, she's not stabbed.
She
She
shoots
gun.
him. Yeah, she shoots him.
Did she take the cop from the other guy?
She takes the cop's gun,
Like,
because the cop is busy doing CPR. So she uses her own knife to free herself from the duct tape, and then takes the cop's gun and casually walks over to the.
How loose was the strap though? Was there like a latch that goes over the gun? Like, wouldn't you feel that?
No, he took his gun off to do the CPR.
Oh,
so
okay.
his like gun belt was like
yeah.
lying on the floor.
Okay. I didn't remember the shot, but I thought it was like on his ass or something. Or still attached to him. So I was like, did she just like sleight of hand this guy? Like, she's like Nami is just suddenly like Sherlock Holmes, fucking like, you know, whatever those magicians in that movie are. Anyway, but yeah, she goes to shoot. Does she shoot the dude? It's a cop that shoots him.
No,
right?
she shoots him.
Yeah. Oh, she shoots him.
She shoots him. Yeah, and then the cop takes the blame.
Yeah.
But not really, because it's like there's like a news report after the fact that's like,
because he's unconscious.
Yeah. So you can't really say what happened. So I think the report goes something like the cops shot him while trying to apprehend him or something.
I should have just gone 4-7, man. Just like she killed
Headshot,
him, and then she's a killer.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cop out.
So that's
what I thought they were going for. I thought they were going for like she kills him and then her dad wakes up and it's like, why did she kill him? It's like, yeah.
I think that would have been a better ending. It's been done before, but like it's just like nah, and her life is back to normal. And
I mean the cop still could have taken the blame for it, and it would have been like heavier consequences for him, because I feel like he needed some consequences for his actions.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's a very convenient.
Did some pretty poor police work in this.
Yeah, it is a pretty bad police work. Just like fucking just cut your hair and I don't recognize you. But no, that's fair. I was like, I was just like, whoa, this movie is taking a pretty bad turn. But yeah, it makes sense, I guess. Yeah, because it's not his son.
Yeah, and now like Nami just has to listen to her dad all the time. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think Nami would ever use... She's still using a smartphone.
Oh, yeah. You can't not use your phone just because you nearly get your dad killed. Just
use
What are you not going to go on Instagram and scroll?
Do you think we've gotten to the point where, like, even if we get traumatized to such a degree as, say, what Nami went through this film, we would still just use a smartphone?
Do you know anyone that doesn't have a smartphone?
I do, yeah.
Does your mum have a smartphone?
Yeah, my mum's got a smartphone, yeah.
I don't know anyone that doesn't have a smartphone.
I only know one person that doesn't have a smartphone, and apparently Michael Cera doesn't have a smartphone.
Okay.
Which I just kind of randomly stumbled across. I
don't trust anyone that doesn't have a smartphone. What are they hiding? What are they up to? Yeah, like are they a drug dealer of some kind? Do they only use burner flip phones? Or like what's going on?
I feel like they're just being contrary. I don't think I don't think they're hiding anything.
Yeah,
I think it's just counterculture. Just like, look at all you motherfuckers with your smartphone.
Yeah, I still listen to vinyl. That's how cool I am. Still have VHS
I listen to vinyl sometimes.
Do you have a VHS player as well?
No. Actually, no, I do have someone. No, I do have someone somewhere, yeah. I haven't used it in many years, but I have VHSs at home.
They have one of those TVs that have an inbuilt VHS player. One of those CRT TVs.
No, I don't have one. I do have a CRT that's in the garage. It's like a really small one. Yeah. I don't know, I don't think it works anymore. It's been in the garage for like probably a decade by now. Actually, yeah.
I mean, no, like if I got hacked, I don't think it would really affect me that much. Yeah, like.
Well, the hacking in this movie, like, do you think it's realistic? Do you think you can accomplish that much with just a fucking?
I think so. I mean, like, what does he do? All he does is like clone her phone, basically. And then he can see like everything that she sees, right?
But I feel like it takes a lot of computing power.
Yeah, that's
to,
why.
like, and he's like staking her out and stuff, and like, I don't remember, but he's like, I don't know. It's just like seems like quite futuristic, some of the stuff that he's doing.
Yeah, I didn't find it that implausible because it just did seem like he just cloned her phone, and then like he was messaging under her name, which like if things had gone wrong for him, like he might have just like stumbled across the people that he'd been messaging and been like, wait, I didn't say any of that. What are you talking about? And then like immediately the gig is up. But like that didn't happen, which is fine. I think
the phone has to be like, whenever he's interacting with the phone, it has to be like on, right?
Yeah.
That's what's happening when she's asleep and it's like charging. And you see the phone come on. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I think I guess it is.
Yeah, like sometimes my phone gets hot, and I'm like, it's just a phone. It gets hot sometimes. Yeah, like, you wouldn't think too much of it. Like if it's in your pocket, especially, it's like it could be doing anything. You don't know, Tavi.
I'm pretty sure my phone is doing that now anyway because it's the Huawei. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if anyone could destroy me by having access to my phone. You know what I mean?
I'd just get cancelled.
Yeah.
I don't think my life would get fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't need help to fuck up my life from the hacker. But do we want to...
Let's address the $1 million question. In the eventual terrible Hollywood remake of this film, who would you cast as the characters? We mentioned Paul Dano as the...
Yeah, I'd probably say Paul Dano again. He just does that role pretty well.
He's not handsome enough in the traditional sense, I feel like. Because like, there's a point where this guy kind of like charms Nami.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who'd be the kind of like scummy...
I pictured like a Joseph Gordon-Levitt type guy.
Yeah.
Like someone unsuspecting.
But I feel like Western guys aren't pretty enough. So it's like... You don't get that I want to strangle you factor.
Yeah, that's true. They gotta be the right level of unlikable. Like Paul Dano does tread that line pretty well. Like you do want to strangle him pretty often.
I know. Sibulu.
Yeah, but like it's a Hollywood film, so like they wouldn't cast Asian probably. For this remake of an Asian film.
It doesn't really have that much charisma either. Well, there goes getting Simu on the show.
Yeah, he's a good sport. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just say Paul Dano, just because I like Paul Dano in these kind of roles. But do you have someone that would play Jun Young?
Maybe like a Josh Hartnett type. Kind of like charming looking, but like fairly normal looking as well.
Yeah.
So you could kind of see him as like going both ways, like being a charming psychopath.
Yeah, I don't know. Josh Hartnett is too handsome though.
You reckon? Like
he's not like you need like someone in Hollywood who has that pretty handsome. Yeah, I mean the other person I can think of is Timothy Chalamet, but like
he's way too handsome.
I don't know. He's too handsome. Yeah, he doesn't have that. You need someone that really have that I want to strangle you factor, which I can't think of anyone off the top of my head
Michael
in
Cera.
Hollywood. Michael Cera, but Michael Cera would just be kind of funny. Like it's different. It's really weird. Like it needs to be a pretty Asian guy, which Hollywood is not going to cast. Yeah, it's just like I just didn't see this character working as a white guy. Like I mean, you'd have to change it. Like, just Paul Dano, you know.
I mean, like, Sebastian Stan plays a similar character in Fresh.
Yeah.
Like, but he's like, he's handsome as well. Like, I think he can be, like, Hollywood handsome.
Because, like, when you think of I Want to Strangle You character in, like, say, an American film, it's usually the jock character, right? That's like, woo, yeah, like, you know.
Oh no! Like you've got
and that's like kind of racist as well.
You've got your Joffreys as well, like.
Oh yeah, it's true, Joffrey. Yeah, no, you're right. So I don't know.
But there's no like in between. I think it's like you got there's like either you're a weedy weasel character, or you're like a jock.
I guess on the offsets, you could also cast Ezra Miller. Maybe he can do that too. This role, the Flash.
Yeah.
He's quite unlikable these days.
That's true. Yeah.
So there you go.
Sure. Yeah. That kind of guy, like.
Yeah.
Maybe Shia LaBeouf as well.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they do exist. We just have to do some digging.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's as much as I love like Asian actors and all that stuff. Like it's really easy to hate like the Asian character.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. There's just something about it. Something about si-wan that just loves. Just like it's really infuriating to watch. Yeah. But who would you get to play Nami? Like for this, I have no idea because I just
I mean, it's like a Zooey Deschanel kind of character, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Who is a younger Zooey Deschanel? Who is an up and comer?
I mean, for me being lazy, I'd just say the girl who plays Wednesday, Jenna Ortega.
Sure, Jenna Ortega could do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not based on any acting. I'm sure she's a great actor, and that show is apparently really good. But like, yeah, that's just she's just the first thing that comes to mind.
I don't think Jenna Ortega would play this kind of character because it's too basic. Not really like weird enough.
She's playing like she's in Scream, isn't she? She's playing like a role like this.
Maybe
she's in the new Scream movie.
I mean, like her characters, like even in X, like she can play a vanilla character, sure, but I think her bread and butter these days is like weird.
Oh, it's Jenna Ortega in X. I didn't know that was her. She's the one that gets shot.
Yes, yeah, that's Jenna Ortega.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, interesting.
No,
she looks pretty different in that movie.
She's in a lot of stuff, Tavi. She's a bit of a scream queen, you would say.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. I'm just gonna keep it as Jenna Ortega because I can't think of anyone else.
Yeah. How about puckered lips?
And puckered lips. Puckered lips guy. Who's got puckered lips in Hollywood?
Who's got puckered lips in Hollywood? Good question.
I mean, this would be. I'm just going with the first. I'm thinking like Liam Neeson because I don't know. Seems like a grieving father all the time.
Liam Neeson would be the dad character. The I told you so dad.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that'll be the dad. Yeah. I don't know. Who's like maybe I don't know, Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, he could do it.
Could be like the shitty partner that knows he should do stuff, but like maybe.
That feels like more of a Mark Ruffalo character, and like the main cop would be like Christian Bale or someone with more like.
Who's that actor? David something, and he has glasses and he's bald. And he's in the Chipmunks movies. David Cross. If you look up who David Cross is.
Yeah, David Cross. Okay. As who? What, the partner?
As the partner, yeah.
Yeah.
But Mark Ruffalo could do it as well.
Yeah.
After watching Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah, like I feel like the puckered lips guy should be like someone with a stronger energy, like a Christian Bale type, like someone that can just dominate this partner guy. Partner character, and like Mark Ruffalo or David Cross could be the partner, or Justin Long, who I have just noticed is also in the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie.
Can't believe I mentioned Alvin and the Chipmunks in this podcast.
But I mean, who would you get to direct this type of film? A thriller to do with smartphone technology.
Just get Spike Lee to do it and he'll fuck it up like Old Boy.
I don't know. I don't think he's watched a Korean film in his life.
Yeah, I don't think so. No. I feel like anyone could do this movie.
Yeah, it's true. Whoever did Searching, get him to do this.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's a pretty by the numbers kind of film, huh? I guess there's like aspects of Searching and I would recommend this movie. I did enjoy it. It's just like, it's something I'll probably not watch again.
It's a pretty easy to watch thriller, I think.
Yeah.
It promotes the dangers of smartphones and our over-reliance on that technology.
You just use your damn phones too much.
Yeah.
Probably listening to this podcast on your phone.
You punk kid.
You fucking... You're damn.
You've probably been hacked already.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
and it'll be your fault when it happens.
let's just get rid of phones and send letters. So like whenever we want to do shit, it takes like weeks to do something.
Bring back the VHS machines.
Yeah. Let's just bring back Nokia. Bring back Snake.
Oh, I love Snake.
So we can
I'm on board with that idea. Bring back Snake.
No, you're not allowed to use phone at all. It's just straight back to the world cannot go back. Like smartphones is basically part of nature now. Humans cannot exist without a smartphone.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to live with hackers, I think. Hackers, like, mostly they're not killing people, right? They're mostly selling information and
I think so.
Ruining people's lives in that way. They're not like all murderers, and I don't think I feel like this is a very like kind of exaggerated case of hackers.
But I think that's pretty much us for this movie.
Yeah.
I think we didn't talk that much about this movie in the last 10 minutes of this recording. Yeah. That's all right.
This film's all right, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
It's all right.
But what did you think of Unlocked? Did you enjoy it? Would you like to watch a Western remake of this film? You let us know. You can get in touch with us at 2asianblokes@gmail.com. You can join our Facebook group to be part of the conversation, or you can follow us on Instagram at 2asianblokes to see what we're up to. Just use your phone responsibly, I guess. Just don't... Maybe make more than one password for all of your accounts. I'm not going to, but yeah, if you're worried about hackers, there's probably something that you should do. Yeah, get like a password diary, a password journal. That's something that people have, right?
Yeah. I don't know, just don't lose your phone, I guess. All right, guys, take care of yourselves.
Bye.
See ya.